There we go. It's all yours, Mike.
All right, thanks, Tracy. All right, so today we're going to cover B1 usability package dashboards. We'll just do an overview of them.
And just before starting too, for those who don't know, B1UP, Boyum B1UP usability package, which is an add-on that you add on to your SAP Business One. Just wanted to mention that for new users.
My agenda. So first question, I did think of it, but thank you. So so I'll cover today what is B1UP a little bit more. We'll talk about the report versus dashboard kind of situation, a functional versus a summary dashboard. I'll do a demo of the dashboards in SAP, address some common questions, and take general questions from you guys. So what is B1UP? As Tracy said, it's an add-on. You buy it to license per user, and it is a framework that gives you a lot of additional functionality. It's difficult to explain, but if you look up our other videos, you can see that it adds a lot of different things that are missing and allows us to add a lot of custom stuff and things from item placements to reports, and includes this dashboarding system fully with the license. So you don't need an additional dashboarding licenses. In my professional opinion, I work with this a lot. It's the best dashboarding system that you can have within SAP. And I'll show you some of the features of that. So, just to kind of orient yourself, like, why would I need a dashboard? I have reports. Reports are something usually you run on demand. It's something that you have to actively seek out. It's something that you need to click to view. The dashboard itself is like driving in your car. You don't push a button to say, what speed am I going? You don't, you have that information in an easy, summarized way so that you can do your job on the road, or in this case, in a business, where you can do your job and understand the KPIs and metrics and things you are tracking for your daily life right in front of your face, easy to see, and real time. So there's a big benefit versus having a dashboard, for having a dashboard for all of your users. It's not something that's just for an executive level person. There's the functional versus summary discussion too. So I like to break down the dashboard understanding into, is this a functional dashboard or a summary dashboard, or a combination of those types of elements? So functional might be a list of documents that you want to monitor, view, and drill into. Something like maybe you have quotes out for specific sales employees, and you want to say, what are my open quotes? And here's a list of them. Versus a summary, where you could also call it an executive dashboard, or what are also commonly known as KPIs, a key performance indicator. And that would be something maybe like, what are our orders today for our e-commerce site? What number of deliveries did we make today? How many new service calls are outstanding? So that's a summary number, and you can mix those elements, and I will show you that more in my demo. Popping over to SAP, we'll see here a kind of, this is more on the summary side to start, but you can see that you have your dashboards here with the graphs and charts. So this would be more summary data. You have, top 10 customers, sales per item group, and this particular dashboard comes with the B1UP add-on. So there are quite a few that come with it that you can leverage immediately or use as a starting point to build something that you like. I personally don't find this super useful, but this would be something maybe like a sales manager would look at. But you could also have more specific information on the sales employees. And, this is, again, just an example. So you can do things like drilling down. You can see February. Again, this is a demo database. There's questionable amounts of data. For February, you can click here and then break it down and see specific customer groups below that with more specific information per group. And again, being a summary thing, you can go and look at this. It helps you to make decisions. It helps you to orient yourself with trends, and it helps you to monitor at a higher level. But you can combine and completely customize and change all of these panels and widgets without any problem. So this in itself is a widget here on the left side, the sales overview, but you have also common functions in the upper right here. You can totally customize this, add your own. They can be custom functions, but they allow you to make your own little menu. So if you use the business partner all the time, items, opportunities, this can be customized completely to what you want to see. Can be, the user can edit it very easily and add shortcuts, edit things. We have a workflow process. If you're familiar with kind of QuickBooks, kind of popularized this, where you have different flows, and you can do this for your organization. There's a whole system to make all these arrows and diagonal arrows, and you can do this for the different departments. You can add drop downs here to have more information for the different sections or, little queries and things. And I've used this a lot to outline, SAP being a framework, it isn't always clear to the users what direction or what approach they should use, but you can break that down in here and almost use it as kind of mini documentation to have the flow of where documents are going to go, and have this help them understand where they can click to open things and reinforce that process even for new users, show them where the reports are going to be, and basically standardize things. So this is a widget that can be totally customized again. You can use even custom icons. You can make this custom per user. Another widget is the open items list. This one is pretty common too. You can, deliveries, invoices, etc., and actually drill down into that particular document. And this will allow you to see that document right off of the dashboard. So you can use this as a list. You can incorporate an open items list into another widget. You can incorporate, a list of just e-commerce orders into this widget. You can really customize and see what you would want wherever you want it. You can also see some graphical highlighting here. So you can see government, customer group has a very high total. You can see the bar here, and you're up a lot versus last year. So you can use visual highlighting to really point yourself in the right direction. You can use icons in here. You can, I've done lots of things like, and we'll see this later, is flagging rows with red if they're, maybe a PO is overdue, all sorts of things like that. So a lot of the other elements, so sales pivot, this is one that just comes with the B1UP or the B1 usability package. So you have a pivot element. This can be anything you want. This one's just out of the box, but you can see it's grouped by, you have your group by item group, but you can drill into specific items or go to the specific item group, and you can go to the item. You can see profit and quantity sold per the period of time. You could break it down into your quarters, into the specific months. Again, it's kind of a little bit of a wonky database, so it's not really that consistent, but you can see 2020 Q4 with the information, the totals for the quarter, and you can use this just at a high level to pivot, by the quarters. So I can change my range here, and you can see immediately in real time that you have a pivot of your sales information there. So this could be, sales, this could be financial, this could be service calls, this could be anything that you want to build out that you would use a pivot for, and it can be exported to Excel as well. Another element that's commonly used is what's called a Kanban board. If you've used a Kanban board, this is just a small example. So if you're using opportunities, you could do this for opportunities, you could do this for orders, you could do this for production orders. So in this case, you could be looking at your opportunities, and you can double click, drill into here, edit some stuff, push OK. But the coolest thing about this Kanban board is you can actually drag them between the stages and it will update the stages. So same with your production orders. If you have a list of in planning and you want to drop those into released, but you could also drop them into released today, released tomorrow, released for the next day, closed, and you can move those into the different buckets. And again, this will actually update the record behind it. So this makes it a lot easier for you to manage things in, again, this Kanban board style. It's pretty popular for project management. And you could put all sorts of things in here. Open activities, like a to-do list. You could do service calls. The Kanban board can be very useful in that way. This production dashboard is mostly a default one. I can't show you the ones that I like really love. I have some dashboards that I've spent so much time on and very, very proud of. They just have too much information, like too much custom information. I didn't make the time to map them all over, but we can really, you know, if we can put our heads together, we can really think of ways that, you know, we can get the most out of these dashboards for your users. You know, information summarized and at a glance that will really make things very clear. You can basically just look at it and you can say, okay, I know that I'm on top of all this information and I know that everything is flowing smoothly, and you can drill into the data that you need to. So this one's kind of a production one. This is the default one. You know, we'll say questionable usability. It has some good statistics in here, but it's just as an example. You can drill down to the production order. You can see some statistics in the range here. You can filter for a date range as well in here. And that gives you your common functions, some inventory management tools, and your open items list. A more custom functional one I've done here contains some highlighting. So you can see that these ones marked in red are problems, and we could even put a filter to filter for problematic ones. But you can see here, if you drill into here, it has your supply chain availability details, and you can double click to see the sales order, drill into it, look at the data here. You can filter for a date range. You could drill into the purchase order that's coming in here. You could filter here, look around, and you know, it allows you to kind of filter by your item groups if you just want to look at one item group. And it gives you some good functional views so that you can have all of your purchasers on the same page. And if somebody's questioning, hey, what's going on with these specific things, you can see and you can all be on the same page with a nice summarized view of how you work and what statistics and things and time horizons you work on. Another kind of similar one based on that is an opportunity tracker, project tracker. So this one was based kind of loosely on another one I had done, but you can see, you can click here. It shows you all of the related documents to that project. In this case, it's just an opportunity we're tracking as a project, not the project management module, but you can see that this is a webinar example. All the documents linked to it. You can see there are a variety of different types. You can drill into them, going to the sales order right from here. So again, this allows you to kind of, you know, you sit here, and if you're a project manager or a sales manager using opportunities even, you can see exactly what's going on, read the notes. We have a summary here, who's the main contact, their cell phone number, their email, what products are on their orders, and their ship to address here. So again, it kind of summarizes it nicely. I use a tab group here so you can filter for a date range, and you can work with it that way and add a bunch of filters. So again, there could be lots of data on there. The last one I just wanted to highlight, I don't have much data in here, but you can do a calendar type setup. So you could do delivery, you know, pickup scheduling. You can do meeting schedules. You can see various, you know, sales employees when they've scheduled meetings. You could work through this and put any sort of calendar temporal data onto here. I don't have many examples, but just to show you that element.
Mike, I have a question.
Yeah.
With your calendar here that you're showing, if somebody's using Outlook, and let's say you're using this calendar inside your dashboards, would they need something like Boyum CRM for Outlook to just be a bridge between their Outlook and this, or because this is a calendar in your SAP, and I
Yeah.
myself don't really use that, but
Yeah, I would probably still, well, full transparency, I don't know. Clearly, I don't use this that much. I know that they've added a lot of features. It might even be worth doing a session on this in the future. I'll explore it a little bit more. Like from a business consulting standpoint, I do not like to have Outlook like locked to this type of calendar. I would use this more for like either a customer pickup schedule or something where it's everybody's going to stay within SAP only. To sync outside, I actually don't know. And it sounds logical. You'd use the CRM for Outlook to have it sync outside, but I think this is more or less, maybe timesheets or maybe what project pieces people are working on for resources, or maybe even for production planning, like a production planning thing. But I never like to interfere with how an individual sales employee does their own scheduling. And I don't like to duplicate the scheduling in two places where it's just a pain and it doesn't provide any extra value. Having said that, again, there are certain things, maybe not necessarily related to salespeople, that you can use for this and can be extremely useful. I know there are so many tools in here. You could view teams. You could have, again, production lines. You can have different things that you can centrally do here. And the features are really amazing. Again, there's so much to throw in here and you're just seeing a blank screen, but you can drag and drop things. You can split them. You can, do all sorts of cool things. And I think there are a lot of use cases for it. And again, it might be good to explore in another session. So.
okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. So for the last thing I wanted to show was the dashboard editor. It's a direct SQL or HANA connection to the database, which is amazing. It doesn't use some sort of proprietary language. You can write an SQL, you can make this direct, and then basically you visualize them using these data elements. So there's a pivot, a grid, a chart. You can just click these, drop them in, and then you can add your data in there. So I'm not really going to do all this type of stuff, but you can really quickly add, move, and manage these yourself. They're very straightforward to edit. Pivots, grids, charts of all sorts, scatter charts, pies and donut graphs, gauges are pretty cool. Like you can kind of say what's our goal is like 500 orders a day or something, and you can show that. Cards allow you to just output a number. So you could say like, we have one card and that's like invoices today, or you could have a couple, you could have, cash position, if you're a financial person, you could have your financial ratios on a bunch of cards that are displayed on the side. You could use a tree map. You could use a choropleth map, which is just a heat map of a region. So you could have Canada, and then you could have the region kind of fade colors based on a sales history to see where on the map is the most, where in the map you have the most sales, for example. GeoPoint maps are really interesting. I haven't tried this yet. I've played around with it functionally, but I haven't done this. But you could potentially map all of your customers in a different range of a map based on their address. So you could take a map of BC or Quebec, and you could say, where are all of our customers concentrated? And you could kind of slice and dice that and see where they appear. You could have, deliveries for the day that are going to be delivered and just have that so you could see them. You could, there's all sorts of different things that you could do with that use case to just put a pin on a map.
That's
the range,
cool.
yeah, it's neat. I haven't explored it enough.
I use Google. I use is it Google My Maps? For where customers are, if I'm going on visits to try and visit people, that are in the same region and stuff. But I didn't know this is really interesting to have it inside your SAP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you could even, I think you can color code and put like, there could be salesperson X is here, and then you can have, a bunch of customers within the region and have like, you know, it's not, you wouldn't use it for like directions or like street view. It doesn't replace that, but it gives you an idea of like, you know, do you have an emerging region of orders from a specific area? You know, you could say, where are the orders in the last 30 days? And you could, again, kind of concentrate that in a region. Like, did you hire a new external salesperson and you want to see, you know, are new orders popping up in that area? That would be fascinating to me. It's something I just haven't played with too much, other than functionally making it work and
Yeah.
testing it a little. So, I mean, it works. I haven't put a real data set through it. Range filters is pretty commonly used for dates. You saw those drag and drop ones like I had showed you for like this one. This guy's a range one here. You have images which you could put in there. You have text boxes which are really cool because you can conditionally output like wording into a text box. So you could have something like a, hey, you know, you could conditionally make it kind of feel like like a bot. You could say, hey, sales for today are $10,000. They're up, you know, $5,000 from yesterday. You know, you could say like the number one sales employee for today was this. But you could conditionally kind of even craft like a little text box, but you could also use it just to output a lot of data into a text area. So that's neat. Grouping allows you to make data grouped specific groups of widgets together where the data stays together. Tab containers allows you to just have multi tabs like this. You can have a tab. I sometimes put the filters all behind because sometimes you have too many filters. And then you just have your regular filter elements, a drop down box, list box, tree box, and date filter. And then a lot of these other things allow you to do colors, conditional rule formatting, and various things like that. So you can, again, highlight, you know, the one that comes to mind here for highlighting are these ones. You can put icons and colors. You can use a visual thing so you can see very quickly, just glance your eyes across, you can see these are overdue. And it gives you a really good sense of what your situation is. I'm going to jump back to here. So a couple of common questions that I always get. So does it require an additional license beyond B1UP? No. If you're using the B1UP framework, you should have one license per user anyways. And then every user can have their own combination of tabs. So everybody doesn't have to have the same tabs. Everybody doesn't have to have the same widgets. Everybody can have different data. So that's my second question. Can each user have different dashboards? Yes, you can control the security between the different dashboard widgets. So certain users can't, you know, even if a user would add the widget, it will be blocked. You can have it locked to a specific user's data. So for sales employees, you can say only the user that's logged in show their data. So you can have it show it that way. So you can really control and customize this per user with a mix of functional and summary dashboards so that you can get exactly what you want to really propel your departments ahead. Does it come with defaults? It does come with defaults, but as I have shown you, you know, people always say like, oh, why doesn't SAP have this report or that report? And meanwhile, it's like no reports are directly the same between two businesses, except maybe like balance sheet and P&L. But people have this kind of fallacy that it's, oh, my report is so common. But same with the dashboards, right? So Boyum has done a great, you know, service where they have like kind of a basic set of data, but then you would customize it from there. So it's kind of rare that people love the default dashboards, but the framework is there to start, and then you can build your own custom ones very quickly, especially if you already have queries and you already have reports that you're using day to day. You can port them over very quickly. Again, it's all written in regular plain SQL, no custom stuff. And you can just port those reports over, immediately show those. And something that somebody looks at all day, you can literally turn into their dashboard where now they can just drill down into it, and then it works perfectly for them. The last question is, can we design them ourselves? The answer is yes, you definitely can. You just need a little bit of training. And I like it when, the customer is like creative enough to give me what they want to see. And if I'm very familiar with the customer, I can make those dashboards and really start to get creative with them. But at the end of the day, if you want to do them yourself and you have a technical person that at least can write SQL, or maybe they've done some Power BI work, or they've used, one of the other business intelligence visualization tools, they'll fit right into here and they can get a lot out of it for you, maintain them, and help your users get a lot of value out of the dashboards. So that's it for me. Are there any specific questions people have?
Yeah, and if anybody has questions, I've got my chat box here, or if you just raise your hand, I could unmute you. If you have anything for Mike that you'd like to go over or ask questions for. And just by the way, while waiting for that, this is just one portion of B1UP that we're showing is the dashboards, but the product B1UP as it is, the B1 usability package, does so much more than just dashboards. Today, we're just showing the feature of dashboards, but it does so many things. It's pretty.
Yeah, really, it's mind-boggling. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, people who know it love it. People who are getting into it will love it, and people who don't have it yet need to get it. I mean,
like you can modify your windows, your business partner windows, create drop-down things, hide things, add information. There's just so much you can do with it. It's really crazy.
Customer statements.
Yeah. So does nobody have any questions? You're all good?
Perfect.
All right, good. Well, thank you very much, Mike.
Yeah.
And thank everybody for being here. And this is going to be on our YouTube page, the Forgestik YouTube page. And if you have any questions, just send me an email, tracy@forgestik.com. I usually reply pretty quickly. And happy holidays to everybody. Our new schedule is going to be out for the winter session for our tips and tricks at the beginning of January. So Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everyone. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Bye for now.
Bye.